I'm John and welcome back to my Lair of Action Figures. So today it's Sunday and like every Sunday it's going to be This Week in Action Figure News, episode 48. So this is the intro and I'm going to be telling you about what's going to be in it, Super 7, some G.I. Joe pre-orders or leaked images, some announcements about the Snowcat, and of course we're going to be talking about Professor X from Hot Toys, and of course I will give you a little update about my health. So let's jump in. So let's start by some Hasbro news, and of course these figures went up for pre-order, or going to be going up for pre-order, and I didn't do a video about my thoughts about it, but let's be honest, this is not working at all for me. I'm not a big fan of this. I will show you a picture of the Cat afterwards and you will see that it looks exactly like a mask from Alice in Wonderland. Jinx, I don't think she's going to combat. I think she's going to some kind of orgy or some kind of other stuff like that, because she is showing so much flesh and she skipped the underwear part. So I guess if you're going to that kind of thing, I guess she's going to that planet in Thor Love and Thunder that Zeus is talking about. That's why I thought she's dressed up like this. Oh yeah, this is becoming pretty ridiculous, and again, I think it's really a shame that all the characters got a mask and she gets some kind of bird little thing to put over. I mean, why not give us a mask directly instead of giving us this part over here? It really doesn't make any sense. The proportions also on Snake Eyes seem to be a bit weird. I don't know if it's because of the blue, but it looks like the figure went back to the design of the one from back in the early 90s, I believe it was. Correct me or give me the right date in the comment section, where he would have this kung fu movement. But again, yeah, this is becoming pretty ridiculous. And again, she has fists, he doesn't have fists. I understand this is not the retro line, but again, if you're going to be doing Ninja Force, they're going to be fighting, give him at least some fists. It's not the first time. So like I was saying, Cat from Alice in Wonderland, you can see the picture over here, and I'm going to be giving you a spoiler because we're going to be getting a Jinx version 3. It's a joke, and she's going to be dressed up like this because, let's be honest, I don't know what else Hasbro could give us as it. Anyway, moving on to the big announcement. They're going to be doing an unboxing, of course, of the Snowcat, and they're going to be talking about it, try to get it up as you can see. And there's also the reminder for the 3-pack who's going up for pre-order on the 26th. I'll be putting a reminder also on YouTube and on Facebook so you don't miss out on it. And of course, we all are expecting and waiting to receive this beautiful item. And I'm going to ask my friend in the US to hold on to it right till it gets there, and then we are going to ship everything out. So, moving on to some more G.I. Joe news, let's talk about Super 7. Now, moving on to Super 7, as you can see, they wanted to give us a bit of a show-off and showing us all their products hanging on a shelf like you would like to find them in a toy store or in any kind of big supermarket. Remember, Toys R Us did look a lot like this. Maybe a bit better tidied up here, but again, this is a tease to give us the new figures. So this was an image that was posted by Super 7, and they kind of messed up a little bit because they gave us two flints. We have the Jinx over here from, of course, Tiger Force. Then we have a winter version of Baroness, and normally this one should be the winter version of Shipwreck. It's kind of crazy when you think about it that these guys are not having a Snowcat coming out. You hear me, Hasbro? So, also we have the Escape armor, and then we also have Wild Bill, but this one was already announced and already being released. So, let's have a closer look at the picture that should be more justifying. It's a bit of a shame. I would like to be kind of curious to see how this would want as a payment for it. I wonder how much you're going to pay for it. So yeah, this is something that's definitely going to be seen. So these are the 5 figures from the wave. So let's have a close-up and a close look at it. But you can already see here, you're going to have some problems shipping this. So of course we have Flint, and as you can see, this is the cartoon version, so they already did them in the Ultimate Super 7 figures in 7-inch, so they're going cartoon. So again, you already had Tiger Force Flint. I guess you're going to have many more Flints because they like using the molds and really making the most money they can with different repaints. So I guess we're going to see some more of this guy. And I mean, come on, Hasbro. I wanted to put this side by side. I mean, you guys are the owner of this art. I mean, Super 7 manages not to F up the retro line card or the Super 7 Reaction Plus figures, and you give us this horrible render. Uh, yeah, I cannot imagine how the hell this is what we should have got instead of this garbage. Hey, I don't know if Lenny 2.0 is going to be quitting anytime soon, or maybe what you should do is maybe go and see who's the guy behind Super 7, because he needs to be Lenny 3.0. Like I was saying, we have a Baroness in snow outfit, who's kind of insane that they're not doing it in the G.I. Joe line, classified line, due to the fact that we have a Snowcat coming. Talking about more winter outfits, here we have Shipwreck in his version in winter, but they have no Snowcat coming. I just find it mind-boggling that those guys at Hasbro cannot get it right, and that Super 7, who does a lot of repaints, and you know what I think about it, already made a video of my thoughts about it, is super cheap, and the quality is not there. But I mean, come on, the ideas they have are way better than what Hasbro is doing with the line. So maybe you might want to pouch some people from Super 7 and get rid of some of the people from Hasbro, because they don't seem to understand what they're doing. Now, moving on to Jinx, this is again where I have my problem, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. So here we have a repaint of the original Jinx that they did without, of course, the mask for the cartoon movie from 1987, and of course, why not, let's give her some gear instead of fighting stuff. We're going to take the equipment from Lieutenant Falcon. So I mean, yeah, it's a cheap reuse, and this is something that I have a lot of problems with these guys at Super 7. Then we have this thing here who looks really horrible. I understand that they wanted to go onto a cartoon version with this kind of blue. This is in the mass device where you see them in the cave. But when I'm looking at this, this looks pretty bad in quality-wise. This looks extremely cheap, the way that it's done, and of course, by the looks of it, this is definitely not going to be able to be opening. I could be mistaken, but when I'm looking at it, this is definitely not going to open very well, or it's going to be pretty crammed. I guess the arms may move, and maybe you could be able to fit a figure, but I don't really see that happening. Now, as we saw with the length of the package, it goes pretty deep, and I think this is a big mistake, because if you're a collector and you want to have this mint in box, with this kind of stuff, this is going to be so heavy that it's going to get unglued, or they have to find a way to make it really hold in place. And except using some staples, I don't really see what you're going to do. And also during transport, there is so much plastic blister here, this is going to get destroyed. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame on the behalf of Super 7 here. I like the idea, but at the end of the day, this doesn't look great. Now, continuing with Super 7, we have this one over here. So there's two figures who should be coming out. I don't have the pictures of Cobra Commander, but we have the ones for Snake Eyes. So it's based on the Skybound comics, or should I say Marvel, because this is the Marvel. So of course the Cobra Commander is going to be 01, and 02 is going to be this one over here. Now this starts to make me wonder if they're going to be re-editing every single G.I. Joe comic book. That means 130. For, if I'm not mistaken, if my memory serves me well, in the original one from Marvel, like, it could be a bit more, but it's been a little while since I went digging through my comic book collection. So again, we have this Snake Eyes over here, who comes with the comic book. So of course, here are the details. You of course get a heavy machine gun over here, backpack, and of course the coin necklace. So yeah. The idea is good, and again, another winter figure. Come on, Hasbro. You can't get it even right. Anyway, I'm going to finish with that. Let's move on to Hot Toys. Talking about Hot Toys, so Professor X is going to be coming out, and of course, I did already a video of my thoughts, so we're just going to go quickly through the pictures. Of course, we have a movable chair, we have wheels, it looks pretty neat. Now again, is this worth $270? Yeah, kind of wondering, and of course we have the separate rolling eyeballs, nothing new, and this is everything that you get for $270. So be kind of curious to see. This must be made out of some kind of plastic. I don't see what else they would be making. Then we have the floor, who's a bit of a shame because I would have liked to see something a bit bigger. But again, I'm still hesitating. I'm on the fence, and I already have a lot of pre-orders with Sideshow. So for now, I'm just going to wait and hold back a little bit about it. Now, moving on to some more personal issues, I'm going to be talking about my health. So of course, many of you, if you're following me on Facebook or also on YouTube, you will have seen this picture over here. I just put two pictures. I'm not going to go into too many details, but I was again in the hospital. Of course, I'm out of the hospital, but what's going to be happening is that I got an update because I went on Friday to the hospital again, to a new one, a bigger one, who's about over an hour drive from where I live. So they are going to be the ones making the final touches to my issues that have been going on for about over 6 years now. So this is of course the emergency room. The other picture, I'm going to quickly zoom in and back, as course you can see a pipe, and that brings you to this liquid over here. And as you can see, it is syrup. It's not water diluted with, or I would say my personal add the syrup to it to make it that kind of color. So yeah, there was the reason I'm also so white is because there was a lot of clots to remove, and that's why I'm pretty pale and pretty wiped out, because it took them about 15 minutes to remove all of them. So yeah, the good news is that I should be getting this all over, and I should be going for the final operation on the 15th of September. So from now to 15th of September, of course, they told me that I will have again this kind of stuff for 2 or 3 days, and then afterwards I'll be able to go home, and I'm going to be needing a bit of because they're going to be removing some parts of me. So of course this is going to be something that's going to be a bit of a pickle. So let's say right to the 20th of September, I'm going to try to continue create content, do some stuff around, but I'm not guaranteeing you any kind of major videos, major reviews. I'm going to try to work on the edit, but again, I cannot sit for long because it creates the bleeding problem. So yeah, this should be normally getting back in, let's say, end of September. I should be back at 100%. The good news, if we can call it like this, and it is good news, technically I thought I would have to go for a biopsy, and then I would have a scanner, and then afterwards I would have that part of the body who's going to be partially removed. And of course, the good news is that I'm not going to have a biopsy, nor will I have, of course, a scan. The doctor that I talked with explained to me that based on the volume of that part, of course, it's prostate, and the numbers that my PSA levels are, it's totally normal, and I'm under the numbers that I should have for the size of the prostate. So I am supposed to be cancer-free. They're still going to be doing it, so technically I should have no problem. And this is again a little warning. Ryan Reynolds did one with, talking about your private jewels. Of course, palping them. I would strongly suggest to anybody to go and get a little checkup, get a blood test, get your PSA levels checked out. It can prevent a lot of stuff, because there's not much ways of finding out if you have prostatic cancer, and it is something that is very current with the people who are male in the human species. So that is a big, big, big issue. So go and check it out so you don't get any bad surprises, and then we can continue talking about our favorite hobby and talking about our collection. Anyway, I'm going to be moving away from this picture, going to finish with this one. So let me know in the comment section, are you planning, do you agree, disagree with any of my assumptions or the parts I've been talking about of this week in Action Figures news? Let me know in the comment section and let's start a conversation around our favorite hobby. So that's going to be it for episode 48 of this week in Action Figure News. If you like this kind of videos, please leave a like, share, comment in the section. If you have any suggestions, let me know also. You can go and check out my Facebook page. I've added some file cards for the G.I. Joe Classified. There's going to be some pictures going up. Like I said, bear with me due to the fact that I'm going a bit slow. If you want to pre-order anything from Sideshow, you can go to the link in this video. It helps out the channel. If you use it, thank you very much for using it. And if you decide to still pre-order and not use the link, I thank you very much for watching the video. And like always, I'm going to wish you have a fantastic Sunday. And of course, if you're not watching it on Sunday, I'm going to wish you have a fantastic day. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.